What's up, guys? It's time for the new tier list in All-Star Tower Defense X for Update 5. Now, before we get into it, guys, I am announcing a giveaway. We unlocked it on my last live stream. I'm going to give you guys one winner, any game pass of their choice, up to 1,000 Robux. All you guys have to do is subscribe, like, and comment down your username and what game pass you want. And to make it easy, if it's a game with global gifting, put your username as well so I can just global gift it. If not, send me a friend request. My username is Alopec. So I can add you and make sure you get your game pass. All right, I'll be picking the winners within 24 hours of the video uploading. Let's get it. All right, now unfortunately this update didn't do as well as the ASTD devs have hoped, but honestly there was a lot of banger units, so we're gonna be ranking them all on the tier list. Let's get it. All right, first up, let's go over the support units. So the support units we have in this new update is Jotaro is going to be a new time stopper. All right, so I actually have Jotaro ascended right here. Let me go upgrade him real quick. He now becomes not only a great DPS, but a time stopper. Now, the problem is he's now competing with Esdeath. So you have to decide which one you want. Now, Esdeath has a cool passive. So she does freeze that lasts an extra long time, and it applies chilled, which slows enemies by an additional 10%. However, Jotaro has a time stop, which stops all movements for 4.5 seconds. However, there's a 5.5% gap in there. So you got to make a decision, guys, who you want. Now, I will say Jotaro's range is pretty nice and has good DPS as well, so that kind of, ups the ante a little bit, but he's one of the new units. Now, the next guy right here is Giorno or Star Boy. This guy has a unique ability. Now, the thing is, you don't even need to ascend him for his ability. So his ability is Life Giver, cleanses any debuffs or negative status effects on all units within this one. So basically, he unstuns your units, which is OP for beating any NPC mission. And to boot, you guys can kind of see what his DPS is looking like. Not bad at all. And he does have 4 placements as well. So overall, a really great unit and definitely highly recommended, especially with that really, really good AoE. All right, Ramen Guy, obviously the best money unit. Now, Diavolo's DPS is a little low, but his ability is pretty nice. I recommend having at least one of them on infinite mode for his knockback. These guys are the buffers. Pick whichever one you want. And these guys are all like stun of some capacity, but usually not that greatest. I recommend obviously getting one of the ones higher up in this tier list. And of course, guys, big shout out to Hanako and the tier list team for cooking, as well as them cooking on the DPS sheet. All right, next up we have the A tier. These units are decent, but usually there's a better variant. Now, this is based on damage alone. For example, Giorno is really good, but based on damage alone, not the greatest. And a lot of the units, I'm gonna be honest, are actually fairly good, but they're only in the A tier. The B tier units aren't even on this list, and there's a lot of them. Now, a lot of these units I don't really recommend going for because the newer units are just better. But some of them are pretty cool. Now, Narantia has this really cool AoE. So, but the DPS on Narantia is just so low. These guys have some very nice DPS and abilities to use. This guy does poison, so if you guys want poison, use him. And the rest we kind of covered in other videos. All right, so these are the best meta late DPSs. I'm going to go over Simon right now. What makes Simon special is he's the only controllable unit in the game, and his DPS is also freaking insane. No other unit in the game has this high of a DPS. He's basically like a built-in all-star unit, and you don't even need to roll a trade on him. His DPS is actually crazy. Like, honestly, I can't believe he's legal. Like, this guy's actually cracked. So, let's just say he's goated. Diavolo has some decent DPS as well, especially when using his ability. Kokoshibu, also one of the damage gods. I actually have the damage list pulled up as well. If we take a look, Kokoshibu is number 2 right now in the damage after the buffs. You can see 32,000 DPS, but Simon obviously has way higher DPS. It looks like Archer also has decent DPS, but I believe that is ability only. And Toby is just slightly worse than Kokoshibu. So Kokoshibu got a really nice buff. Very, very nice. Obito, obviously great DPS. Akainu also got a little bit of a buff as well. He's a little bit low on this list because of his traps, but overall he has some pretty nice DPS. She got a nice buff, guys. I just showed you that. He got nerfed. Blade Works is technically the second highest, like one of the highest DPSs in the game. I really like Stark. You guys can see here, he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the 6th highest DPS, and he's very easy to get. Really nice DPS, and I like his AoE as well. Kurama has really nice DPS with the full AoE. Poseidon is one of the newer units, also has some pretty nice DPS. Pretty up there on the chart, I believe, like in the top 10. Benamaru, also pretty decent. And the newer guy, I believe this guy does not need a Eva, which kind of makes him a little bit cool. Risotto. So you might want to check him out if you guys are broke. He's pretty dope. He's pretty dope. Kind of on the recommended side of things. All right, next up we have the Meta Infinite and early DPS. So the bottom here is going to be, I recommend, he's not even on this list. I recommend Buccarati, man. I don't know why Buccarati, oh yeah, Buccarati, man. He's $500 to place and he's goated. Highly recommended. The rest of these are pretty good. Kurama I like because it does have that air. This guy has hills, so this is kind of what makes these guys special is the hill. But Buccarati is just so cheap. Tony Stark has really high DPS early on, and the rest are okay as well. Infinite mode wise, guys, I kind of just talked about this already. But Kokoshibu, insane. Simon, insane. Really easy to get Simon as well. So get him, guys. If you guys don't want any other knowledge, this guy right here is how you get on the leaderboards. Kurama has a nice full AoE, and I think we covered the rest. Frieza also got a little bit of a damage buff as well. You guys can see Frieza is now almost in the top 10, but he's kind of weird with all of his random abilities. So there's the full tier list, guys, if you want it. And again, big shout out to the ASTD X stat team. This is the official tier list. If you guys have any questions, comment down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.